So you want to scare your friends in Minecraft? Perfect, because you came to the right place. All the best trolls to play on your friends are what we're exploring today. So let's do it. And be sure you let me know in the comments what your favorite one on this list is. In a 10, silent but explosive. Skulk sensors and the ability to silence them is such a huge game changer when it comes to TNT traps. Like if you've watched any of the Last Life videos, those guys love their instant TNT traps, but usually it would have to be a pressure plate or like an observer with a block on top that they would mine. But now with skulk sensors, they can just place an instant explosion anywhere as long as they have the skulk sensor and then some TNT minecarts, which is absolutely terrifying. They didn't end up having rules against that either. So yeah. A hermit could just be walking down like in the middle of nowhere and then boom, they've lost a life. And given that that season they also had soulmates with someone that they were linked to, it was double the problem. Blast resistance would probably be the best enchantment that you could get on armor in that case, but like even with that, enough TNT minecarts isn't like nothing's gonna save you. I didn't expect that, especially when Scar was going off on his own, but still, silent skulk sensors are really your worst nightmare, especially given everyone's tendency to just not really think about it, and then, oh wait, yeah, I could have died. In at 9, original TNT. The original TNT mechanics from Minecraft are just rude, okay? After the introduction of TNT, but before the ability to light fire ourselves, you actually detonated TNT by just punching it. Yeah, not like a right click, but you actually just had to break the block, meaning that if you placed a TNT in your friend's base, they would not be able to get rid of it. I don't remember if the water trick where water prevents block damage had been implemented at that point, but even if it hadn't, that would have been literally the worst. And then if it had, they would have also had to have removed the water after. And while this mechanic was removed later on, using commands you can actually summon a TNT block that behaves in this way. It obviously requires access to commands and therefore op privileges, but it's definitely something to keep in mind when there's a random block of TNT in your base, especially if anyone you know has access to those commands. But again, also, skulk. And at 8, fake TNT. On the contrary to punch TNT, which can only really be done with commands, a fake TNT troll can be done with anyone at any time, and it's also terrifying, or at least to hear it. You see, one of TNT's main features is that if it's submerged in water, it won't actually destroy any blocks. It will still deal damage, but it won't break anything. This is where this prank comes into play, because you can set off a TNT block in anybody's house, but as long as it's covered by water, it won't actually break anything. If they have a pressure plate by their door, you can just like rig it with TNT, and then it can fall into like a 3x3 area of water, and then you can watch them shit their pants. Although, I mean, it's still pretty horrible, but at least it's not blowing up their house. They'll probably get terrified, and then the pain of others, as long as it isn't like actual pain, is fun to watch. So I approve of this one. Unless it's kids falling down, that's the best. And it's 7, spam. Spamming a Minecraft server in any form is never a good thing to do, okay? Whether it be the chat with like the same message over and over, or with links, or even just re-logging, you know, like logging out then logging back in over and over again. It's a surefire way to get yourself banned from pretty much any server, even if it is your friend's server, okay? Because spamming isn't cool. It ruins the experience for others, and it's overall just really annoying and aggravating. If you want to spam your friends, do it on something else, okay? Like Instagram or on Discord. Don't actually like spam Discord servers either, because it can cause a whole load of issues. But also just don't spam a Minecraft server, because that's going to cause even more issues, especially on the system that's being used to run the server. And if your friend used port forwarding to make their server instead of like actually like paying for a server hosting company, you can mess up their system pretty bad. So yeah, then trust me, they will not be your friends anymore. It is the quickest way to burn bridges, but also if you do it to the wrong person, the quickest way to end up in a cast or a body bag. It depends on the person. And at 6, resource packs. There are so many opportunities for trolling with resource packs that it's genuinely horrifying to think about. I mean, like from replacing lava with water's texture or vice versa, all the way to turning a creeper mob head into a full-on creeper costume, or even making carved pumpkins make you look like a tree. Ever since we started being able to modify more than just the textures of blocks, everyone was at risk. Normally, this wouldn't really be an issue because they're client-side packs. So if I'm using Sphax to get those old Jaffa Factory or MoonQuest quest vibes, nobody else is really gonna see that. But with these being for your friends, I'm guessing you're playing on a server. And part of being on a server is being able to set a default resource pack for that server, meaning that without them knowing, your friend could have just set a pack live that turns every friendly animal noise into a creeper hissing, or one that makes walking on amethyst sound like a wither fight. So, needless to say, if your friend's server makes you download a resource pack, maybe you should be a little careful with what you're jumping into. Also, you've made it halfway through the list, so you clearly like the content, so hit subscribe, okay? Come on, don't be a coward. Hit it. Halfway through at number 5, piston traps. Remember back in the day where the funniest trap you could make was like a too high ceiling with pressure plates around pistons, so like if you walked up to them, it would pop up and you couldn't walk out? Well, now you don't have to worry about pressure plates, and you can't really use those as a cue as to this is going to be happening, because we have skulk sensors that can activate the pistons instead. Yeah, you think that the too high ceiling is just to protect you from endermen? No, now you're stuck in an endless loop of trying to escape but also being unable to. However, all you will need to do with these is just like crouch and wait, and then you'll be good. But if you wanted to, you could have a skulk sensor activate a minecart that like sends another minecart around in a circle. So like, even if you waited, the minecart would come around again and block you from getting out. So yeah, I don't know. It's something to be weary of, even if you think that you can get out. So, I mean, you could also just like dig some stuff, but where's the fun in that? All right, it's like all those TikToks that say like, oh, I got trapped in bedrock, but here's how I got out. Firstly, I grabbed some wood, and they're just not in bedrock anymore. It's like those, but not bedrock. Okay, imagine if you could do that though. That would be funny. Do this to your friends and then tag me on TikTok, because that's funny as hell. And at 4, don't run around with Shriekers. No, you don't even like me. You just want another pair of, oh, never mind, it's Nikes. Sneakers, my bad. I don't listen to music, but that's still a great idea for a Minecraft parody, and you're welcome, Captain Sparkles or Tryhard Ninja. Does anyone make Minecraft parodies anymore, or is that just a lost art form? Anyway, Shriekers are an interesting block in survival, because if you manage to mine one with Silk Touch, you can pick it up. However, once you mine it, it can no longer summon a Warden. But that doesn't mean it's not terrifying to randomly hear the sound come from your base. And if you thought that was scary, you can layer them. Yes, if one Shrieker making your friend leather their leggings isn't enough for you, you can double up. And actually, you can even more than double, because you can use so many goddamn Shriekers that you may actually hurt the person depending on their headphones and PC volume. Of course, the one that I learned this from was Grian, who managed to have like 100 of these things go off at once in what is probably the most cursed Minecraft clip of all time. Enjoy.
Oh, jeez! Oh man!
Getting close to the end into number 3, mob drop. Possibly unrealistic for those of us who don't play the game for a living. Having mob-based traps was always a tricky thing, since you would have to get the player to press a button, or step on a pressure plate, or pull a lever, what have you. And while some players are unable to resist the temptation, those such as myself are always skeptical. That's the trauma. Take Hermitcraft April Fool's Day pranks from Season 9 for example. Grian activated Doc's trap by pressing a button, and this is something that Grian would do, so it worked. But had anyone else actually gotten this trap, I don't think that they actually would have released all the ghasts. It's something that would definitely be difficult to pull off, but also, just getting the ghasts is something else. But now with skulk sensors, you can just walk past it and then hear 25 ghasts and then have them all explode out of your base. So yeah, instead of like expecting it when you press a button, you just walk past it and then boom. And it can work for any mob trap, whether it be the ghasts or zombies, skeletons, charged creepers. They can all be dropped on the player simply because they walked past. And that's something we should all be afraid of. And number 2, Warden Present. Or if you want to take it one step further, who needs ghasts when you can just throw a Warden in your friend's base? Yeah, this is possible, and yes, it's absolutely hilarious. Basically, all you need to do is name a Warden, and then you're good. Naming a Warden does prevent them from despawning like any regular mob, but it also prevents them from despawning if it hasn't heard noises within 60 seconds, which would normally be what causes them to crawl back into the ground. Naming them does in fact prevent that, which is something that I was unaware of when I tried to capture one on a live stream a while ago. But basically, all you need for this is a name tag, a Warden, and then some patience to have them follow you all the way back to your friend's base, because Wardens don't get in minecarts, and they're also pretty damn slow, and exceptionally slow in water, okay? So make sure you got a lot of food on you, because unless they built their base above a skulk cave, this is going to be quite a journey. Finally, in at number 1, laser wall. Okay, a laser wall is something that I made, actually, a while back on this channel. I used skulk sensors added in the snapshots to make a mob-activated laser wall. That was just posts with end rods, and then the floor just became magma blocks. It would hurt any mob that stepped on them, but I mean, I don't know. It was funny. And they couldn't also get through the main door. It didn't really work, okay, but it was interesting. It was a concept that I enjoyed. And you know what? You control your friends with it. Be like, yeah, this is my high-tech security system. And then you look at it and you're like, how? But yeah, I don't know. It consisted of like 3 skulk sensors, and then you just have a whole load of block swappers. Okay, it's cool in my opinion. Not knowing that much about redstone, I was pretty proud of it. But I couldn't really come up with anything cooler, and it was great for the thumbnail. And yes, I put it on this list just to shamelessly plug that I like to do cool things sometimes. I gotta boast every now and then, right? That's what my therapist says. And if you want to see me make that laser wall, be sure you're clicking the video that's about to pop up on your screen. Thanks for watching.